Kamalami Mukwesi, or Mtebu. I'm a motivational speaker, public speaker, and also an entrepreneur. I have a company called Teachookid Brand Culture. We deal with the branding and advertising. It's been operating for over a year now. It's a company in Ayaka with a passion that I had, and Nekani Pagatu, I needed to prove to Alandu, to Mogulcha, to like first, I would like to thank our organizers of this event for having me here. It really is an honor, and I appreciate the opportunity. Every time I'm invited to speak, I'm always prompted or tempted to start with a conventional which might sound crazy, but then as time went by, I got to understand myself. This yearning, I have to start my speech. It just speaks to the way I see myself. Because at the end of the day, people will judge you. So the most important thing, when how do you see yourself? Because the universe will also have our opinions. But then when I'm also there, when one by the way saying she looked at low men up, I'm going to quiz or I'm table, and I'm enough. The reason why I'm saying I'm enough is because we've been bombarded or ambushed by social media, TV, and radio, and all the time they try to create a blueprint. You can only say you're happy if you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can only consider yourself as a successful person if you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And me, I'm so muntu othanda ukuhamba nama-trends or ukuthi omunye umuntu uphilizela active or whatnot. And most of the time, one question that I always get from people that I encounter is, why am I always so happy? Or why am I always smiling? Or why am I always so positive about life? Like, how do I do it? What is it of which the next person doesn't have? And it's always a simple answer from me. I always, when I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers, and I've always said, with happiness, it's nothing but a state of mind. And happiness is a decision. Every day when I wake up in the morning, I decide to be happy. And in making that decision, I'm very mindful. There's a whole lot of challenges that I'm going to face during the day. But then it's a decision that I make. It's going to be a good day. That's why you always find me smiling. I would see everything is all good. But then I always make a decision when I wake up in the morning. Today is going to be a good day. Some of you today might be asking yourselves, why am I in a wheelchair today? I was involved in a car accident back in 2009. It was a near fatal accident because I spent a week in a coma. And I spent a total of about 5 months in hospital recovering as well. So you can just imagine how bad that accident was. But then it was a real life-changing experience for me because I came out a different person from the experience of Glimal and whatnot. But then, what happened, I didn't ask myself, but why me? Or that life is unfair, or why didn't it happen to so and so? But then I started trying to figure out ways, how can I make best of the situation? Because one of the philosophies I've always lived under, you need to do what you can where you are with what you have. Doesn't matter how small or how big, but where you are, you need to make do with what you have and what you can. So instead of me thinking or take it as a curse, I need to sit on a wheelchair or whatnot. As with other problems of mine, I take my problems, my challenges in my face in a wheelchair, as I'm a locust in that. The reason why I take it as that, I read a very interesting article from one of the farmers, which from time to time, I'm a farm get ambushed by in debt, like cornfields, so what happens, they won't be able to produce what they had projected that year. Maybe they had said maybe they're going to produce 30 tons of millimeter. That's not going to happen because I'm a locust in there if I take them on cornfields again.
So what that farmer does, the following year, they actually commit to producing 2 times the amount of corn. This year, which was something amazing for me. Then when we asked that guy, but how do you commit to producing 2 times the amount of corn the following year, whereas you're sitting with this problem now? The thing is, that people don't understand, as we're fighting these locusts, using the chemicals and other methods, the locusts, they leave them on the field. They don't clear out the field, because I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of insects. Leaving them on the field, they start to decay over time. After decaying, they become natural fertilizer. And then biologically, it is projected with the following year, they're actually able to produce 7 times the amount of corn that they wouldn't have been able to produce had Lama locusts had not come for them. So what I'm saying to you, you need to embrace the locusts in your life. Don't say because and whatnot and start wanting to give up in life. The locusts are there to serve a very particular purpose. They're there to make you 7 times stronger, 7 times wiser, 7 times successful. Can we all just say Ola 7?
Ola 7.
So that you can remember this segment. I think next week, the 1st of December, we're celebrating World AIDS Day. It's a national event or international event. But have you asked yourself, what exactly are we celebrating year in, year out? Have you spent a bit of time to just ask yourself? Okay, I did quite a bit, and then I got to understand the thing that we're celebrating, it's 2 types of people actually. We're celebrating both the infected and the affected. We're celebrating the infected because when you find out you're HIV positive, it's a life-changing event. It's no child's play. But then those people are still able to go on and face the world and still chase after their dreams. And that resilient spirit is what we're celebrating on this day. And we're celebrating the affected as well. Because if you have a family member who's infected with HIV, it also affects you as well. But then those people, they refuse to change the way that they look at their family member just because they are infected with HIV now. Of which mind I would like you to give a round of applause for the infected and the affected. Especially in a way, being infected with HIV, I always look at it in the same sense. When I got into this car accident, and then I woke up one day finding out I won't be able to walk again because I was only 24 years old when the accident happened. So you can just understand that whole confusion. So I cannot say when I woke up I already knew I was confused now. I was quite anxious. Am I gonna lose friends? Am I gonna lose family? Am I gonna be out of a job? Zonke these were hanging over my head. But then I quickly realized nothing has changed about me really. It's just that I can't walk anymore. And the same thing with somebody who wears HIV. It's just a status. They still have the same mind, same body, same heart, same everything. Nothing has changed about them. And at the end of the day, we are the problem. We have given HIV way too much power and way too much dominion over our community. And for the life of me, I could never understand why do we always freak out so much when you find out so and so has been infected with HIV. Whereas we know what diabetes can do to you. Whereas we all know what leukemia can do to you. But then, when we are infected with HIV, we always think, we death sentence, man. It actually might be too late for us, because it's way difficult to change the perception or a way of thinking. But I want to ask you a question today, what is it that you're doing to teach the younger generation about this disease? Now they shouldn't live under the stigma that we're living under. Are you trying to find out more about the disease and passing on the information to this person, to the next person? And we need to always be there for all the infected people, because at the end of the day, they still have a life journey to live, and they still have this life race to go, and they also need to finish strong now. Talking about finishing strong, there's a guy called Derek Redmond. He was a sprinter for Barcelona 1992 Olympics, and he was earmarked to easily win the 400-meter sprint. He was basically the Usain Bolt of the time. Abamazi Usain Bolt, if he's competing, we know he's gonna win. It's just that how good of a time is he gonna win.
So what happens with Derek Redmond? My Mabakadu Kijima, he started off quite strong, as everybody had expected that. But then 250 meters away from the finishing line, we were Gonzagelo a hamstring. And that's quite a bad injury for Umutu Kijima. And then he fell to the floor. And as he was down on the floor in excruciating pain, the medics rushed over to try and help him. And then Wabele was Sugumen and he started limping on the track as well. And he started limping on the track. As he was limping like that, there was a big man from the crowd who jumped from the crowd into the track. And then the security tried to stop the guy, but then they couldn't because everybody recognized this is Derek Redmond's father. So Derek Redmond's father walked over to Derek Redmond as he was limping on the track. And when he got to him, he told him, "Son, you don't have to do this." And then Derek Redmond looked back at him with tears in his eyes and all the pain that he was going through, and he told him, "I have to do this." And then his father's response was that, "If you feel that you have to do this, then I will walk this race with you." And then what he did, he put his arm over him and he limped with him on this track. Mind you, the race has been finished a long time ago because Laubam didn't. And as he was limping on the track, and when he was 50 meters away from the finishing line, his father let him go so that he can finish his own race. What I learned from that is that even though the race didn't go as Derek Redmond had planned, he finished his race. He didn't finish first, but he finished his race. Because most of the time, we always want to finish first. And it's easy, and if something doesn't work out, we have to limp across the track until we get to the finish line. So you need to ask yourself, what are your hamstrings in your life today? What are those hamstrings that are keeping you down? Are you going to allow yourselves to be kept down by those hamstrings? Do you know, when I got out of hospital, the one thing that I needed to understand, people wouldn't want to be around me if Benzo Kalankala every day, or talking about how life is unfair. In as much as only men, it's also your responsibility to make it easier for the next person to be there for when they meet. Because nobody wants to be around them to complain every day. 16 days of activism against women and children abuse. I don't mean Tanda one Vesfazan. Tanda one Vesfazan in England and whatnot. And I really appreciate and respect Taban Vesfazan. Without you, there wouldn't be anything. Basically, we wouldn't be here and nothing would be happening today. And I'm saying that being mindful, there's a one to best place out there who are thinking it's okay to abuse a child. And most of the time, this is perpetuated by abantu besifazane who stay in abusive relationships because they suffer from a sickness, which is abantu bazothini syndrome. What are people going to say syndrome? But syndrome. If I leave this person, if I leave this person, it's funny because one of my lady friends was also in an abusive relationship. And she was of the same opinion as well. But because I am was share and whatnot, so what I did, I'm a naturally funny guy to those who know me. I told her a joke, and then she laughed quite hysterically. And then I told her the same joke again, just not as hard though. And then I told her the very same joke 5 more times until she said, "We need to change the topic now. This thing's not funny anymore." And then I was like, the thing I wanted to show you, or if it's exciting for people, they want to talk about it. But the more they talk about it, it loses value. And then somewhere along the line, they will find something else to talk about. So if now you're going to be affected with Bazoti, when are you still holding on to that abusive relationship? Because Bulava name or Bagavatu, Ubano, Shai or White Scratcher or White Dead by show of heads. It's a bad feeling, and you can't help it with more garage, more capot. You always see that scratch, and it color and we are shooting on a man color that Melanolum is a scratch. And then basically I figure Black Friday to be figured and I'm done. No, you go one and I'm calling next month. Then next month we figure the young is 3 months down the line, so when I meet you on the street, what happened to your car? When you oblivious to the scratch mark, because I need those joy, same thing with the abuse. Umuntu mabamshaya the first time, it's a disaster. Some of them even walk out of marriages, but then the more you get used to it, and then the wrong becomes the norm, man. And then now you're messing up the next generation, because if you're teaching it's okay, it's something that needs to happen now. You're teaching it's okay, so it's up to you. You need to put a stop to it. You need to fix that dent. You need to remember it as a dent. They are denting you, and you need to fix that dent. How do you fix that dent? They need to stop that behavior, or you need to walk out, and that's that. I'm out of time. To those who are on Facebook, it's Kwezi Uncut. I also have a YouTube channel, it's also Kwezi Uncut. I have a whole lot of motivational videos that you can see there and learn more about me and my journey as well. You're welcome.